the conversation that was focused on the fiscal discipline of this particular country. Away from that particular conversation in the studio, precisely I'm coming to you live from Yumbe district, where duty has called me today. Now, when you look at our sustainable development goal, one of the components is the aspect of equitable and also inclusive education. And the inclusive education that we're talking about here is the aspect of including those who are disabled. Now, coming back to where I'm currently coming from Yumbe district, and the statistics here at this particular district indicate that there are over 3,000 children who are disabled who are across these different institutions. And we are seeing a number of organizations coming up to say that the engagement is to that they also embrace children with disabilities across the different institutions, and also they participate in decision making in this country. And to have this conversation appreciated this morning, I'm delighted to be joined by the executive director of that is Uganda Society for Disabled Children. She'll be giving us her perspective. Meanwhile, I also have the inspector of schools in charge of children with special needs in Yumbe district. This is where we are going to focus our conversation for this morning on. Madam, you're most welcome to Morning at NTV Show.
Thank you very much. Good morning, viewers. My name is Dolores Were. I am the Executive Director of Uganda Society for Disabled Children. And yes, why we are here today is to talk to you about the need for pursuing the Sustainable Development Goals, especially Sustainable Development Goal number 4, which focuses on improved access and achieving quality inclusive education, and also ensuring that children stay in school, both boys and girls, regardless of their socioeconomic status, regardless of their location, that they access school and achieve quality learning outcomes. And you know, quality learning outcomes may be that, yes, they will pass their primary leaving examinations or their O levels with good grades, but it also means that even if they are not passing with those good certificates, that they become useful citizens of this country, that they can acquire some skills, some values, communication skills, that they are able to have hands-on with work, they're hardworking, and they can provide for the future. That is about securing the future of our countries, our communities, and we would like to do this in partnership. So we have, as Uganda Society for Disabled Children, a consortium that's led by Civil Society Budgets Advocacy Group, and also Initiative for Social and Economic Rights, ISA, and we are implementing a project called Strengthening Public Accountability and Investment in Education. And we are in Yumbe district, where we are currently, but we are also in Namaringo district and in Shema district. We just are working with a few schools because we would like to prove to ourselves and to the rest of the stakeholders that we work with in government that we are able to change our communities, that we are able to contribute, and we can actually meet the Sustainable Development Goals even if they are only a few years away. And this is 2025 and it ends in 2030, but we are contributing to that. And the key areas are really equity in education. All learners, regardless of their disability, gender, and whether it's the socioeconomic status, or maybe they are refugees, should be in school. They should access, they should stay. So we are saying, can we work together? Can we work together with the parents? Can we work together with the local leaders? Can we work with the education sector? And then we are saying that we want public accountability. Can we have transparency in the education system? Can we have budget sessions? Can the community be participating? Can they actually understand what happens in the education system? Can the school management committees be accountable to their communities? Can the parents know their roles there? Can they demand? Can the children actually be able to come to school with support of the parents and all that, but also that there should be investment in education. Government should invest in education, look for resources from wherever government looks for resources, because we know that education currently only receives 0.1% of the budget. That is really little, and we cannot access equity. We cannot achieve equity if we continue in this direction.
Okay, maybe I really don't want to call it that it is a coincidence that my brother Chris had conversation focused on fiscal discipline in the studio with some of our panelists. But yesterday we saw a dialogue in one of the communities, and the children clearly in their debate led by the speakers of their schools clearly gave us a plight to know the aspects of service delivery and also inclusion. Let me turn back to the Inspector of Schools. Madam Inspector, yesterday you witnessed the drama in these schools, and the children clearly brought out the plight of service delivery in these schools. We had one of the school where there was literally no toilet, and the children who are disabled also face challenges when it comes to these infrastructures. As Yumbe District, tell us in terms of embracement, what is the level of embracement in terms of also these infrastructures within these schools, and how many children who are disabled do we have in these schools? I can hold it.
Once again, my name is Lekuros, Inspector of Schools. I'm the focal person for special needs and education. Special needs and children with disabilities are in great number in Yumbe. According to the data which we carried last year, we have a total number of 3,035 children with different categories of disabilities in the district. However, we still have hidden ones which are at homes. Parents don't bring them to school and they hide them in homes. So the number I've given is the ones who enrolled last year in primary schools. According to the statement made by children yesterday, it is true. When we look at the structures, sanitary facilities in schools, it is indeed true that some of the schools do not have sanitary facilities. Point in case here is they had only one latrine, which is used for both boys and girls and children with disabilities. And that is so critical, and it affects the children with disabilities. You find that in accessing out of school, and because they cannot be able to access the facilities. Apart from what they mentioned, we also have other challenges like classrooms which were inadequate. You get children being crowded in classroom in a way that those who have challenges cannot be attended to. Teachers only teach, they lecture, and those ones with some particular issues are not attended to. That is apart from what they mentioned. And again, we have incapacity of teachers. Children with disabilities need to have a specialized attention, which means that teachers have to get the skills to support the children. So we find that in most of the schools, teachers lack the capacity to support the children. For example, those who have vision impairment, those who are deaf, or those who are blind. So it's not easy for the teachers to support them because they lack the capacity to support them.
Okay, Madam, our time is fast being spent. I can hear my producer signaling. We are expanding here in Yumbe District, and of course we shall bring you comprehensive details about the plight of education in this particular district in our subsequent news bulletin and also in the subsequent days. The ED did confirm for us here that one of the aspects that we're now looking at is strengthening public accountability, and because we want to show that we're also inclusive in our conversation here, allow me now to let the room back to my colleagues in the studio. But let's first go for commercial break. Then later on, my brother Chris will get into the studio to wind up with Morning at NTV show for this particular Wednesday. Allow me to say thank you so much for being part of this particular conversation from Yumbe Districts. Let's first make some money. Good morning to you.